Today, I am here to invite you to join the revolution. And as one does, we're going to talk about elephants, spaghetti sauce, and trash cans. So pay attention. Should be interesting. So we have a variety of domains of service. We are fundamentally a service company. We consider it to be a service spectrum. So on one end, we do work design, workplace design, sort of advanced analytics. We do ergonomics, injury prevention, on-site rehabilitation, and then on the farther end, disability management. And one of the things that's unique about Briotix is that we offer technology to all of our service clients. We view technology and service as being tightly integrated, inseparable even. In order to have a fully robust service program, particularly for the clients that we serve, it is critical that there's a technology backbone that supports that operation. So, I want to tell you a little bit about our Zoho history. We are just coming up on, or I just completed actually, our 2-year anniversary of working with Zoho. We found Zoho in August of 2015. During that time, I should say over the past 2 years, we have developed 8 enterprise products on the Zoho Creator platform. And we have been very hard at work launching those products across our clientele. And roughly the past 18 months, we have actually launched 73 applications into production. The way it works is each of our clients gets at least one application. Some that are very large organizations may have more than one, depending upon the type of services that they purchase from us. And we are currently on a 1 million a year operational record pace. So to give you a sense of the scale of our business and the scale of our operation, we have gone from 0, again, in August 2015 to this today. And it is no exaggeration at all to state that partnering with Zoho has completely transformed our business. So there's a lot of KPIs I could share about what we've been able to accomplish with Creator, but I'm just going to focus on one. You saw the 5 different service domains that we offer. If you take ergonomics and injury prevention together, those 2 domains, we at Briotix perform over 2,000 assessments or service interventions each day. Okay? An ergonomic assessment previously took us over an hour and a half to perform. Since we released we call it Briotix Works, that's the white labeling that we've put on all the products that we've developed. Since we have released our Briotix Works application, we have been able to reduce the amount of time it takes us to complete that single assessment by 40%. So, imagine for a moment that you do something all day, every day around the world, thousands of times a day, and suddenly you have 40% additional capacity. So obviously, I feel pretty strongly about Zoho, and would invite you again to come along this journey with us. But before we go any farther, I need you to take a minute to get to know our clients. This list of 50 clients, between 80 to 90% of them have a Briotix Works application hosted on Zoho Creator. Their users, their employees, are accessing our application on the Creator platform. So when I say we have launched 73 programs, on our Briotix Works application over the past 16 months, this is our audience. These are our users. This is who we are launching the applications to. So, in a world of rabbits, deer, and elephants, we love elephants. We think elephants are absolutely phenomenal. We think they're inspiring. They are a tremendous group to partner with. They're also incredibly difficult to support. And if you work for an elephant, or you have elephants as clients, or in your past experience you've interacted with elephants, particularly in a technology set, I'm sure that you can attest to that as well. And one of the things that has been most transformative about working with the Creator team to support our herd of elephants is how much easier the Zoho Creator application has made what we previously did on other technology platforms. So, where does the spaghetti sauce come in? How is that relevant to this conversation? A few years ago, Malcolm Gladwell did a TED Talk called On Spaghetti Sauce, Choice, and Happiness. And I would highly recommend that you each take a minute to Google it and give it a listen. It's a fantastic TED Talk. A few years ago, back when I was a kid, when you went to the store to buy spaghetti sauce, you could essentially find a single type of spaghetti sauce. So like Ragu sold spaghetti sauce, you could get their type of spaghetti sauce. Prego sold another. But fast forward to today, and when you go to the store to purchase spaghetti sauce, you are now inundated with what we call, well, certainly choice, but horizontal segmentation. Okay? So any given brand now who sells spaghetti sauce is selling on average, roughly, somewhere in the order of 36 types of spaghetti sauce. This is incredible, right? Consider what this means for us in terms of the proliferation of choice, right, that we have available to us in terms of things like sauces, soups, chips, soda, whatever, you name it, on a consumer product basis. It has now been aggressively innovated against. It's now been aggressively segmented. And you have an endless array of options that can satisfy your palate, no matter how particular it may be. What's interesting about this, though, is when you look around and you consider what this means for us as consumers, there are still a few places where choice and segmentation, and one of those, and I think if we were honest with ourselves, because certainly you could see this even on our dev team meetings, I am, a chief suspect, that sometimes as technologists, we fashion ourselves as guardians of the galaxy, right? That if we allow clients to get everything that they want, that they could, go off crazy. And so often when we are, presented with requests that clients are making to us, I think this is frequently our initial instinct. Nope, the product doesn't do that. Nope, they're going to need to change their input in order to get that from us. Sure, for $1 million. Or they already have that. They just need to figure out how to use it better, right? The problem with this, so essentially, silly elephant, go home, you're drunk, you don't know what you need, you don't know what you want. I, as a technologist, know better. There's only one problem with this. This is not a real elephant. This is the Jungle Cruise at Disney World, right? This is a caricature of an actual elephant. I have a story to tell you. This happened earlier this year. We were solicited aggressively by one of our clients to come and make a pitch for a SaaS sale. And that's not something that we typically do. Typically, you have to purchase services from us to get our technology. But they wanted the solution so bad, they asked us to change our go-to-market model. And so we eventually relented. And in the bidder's presentation, the RFQ meeting, I was asked by their IT sponsor, what do you do when we ask for something that your product doesn't have? Fair question. And so I said, well, we service a lot of clients, and a lot of our clients have similar needs. And it's very uncommon that one client will ask for something that someone else doesn't also need. So we are able to fund a lot of the innovation of our platform using our internal R&D dollars. So I would expect in many instances that we'd actually be able to deliver to you that request as a value-add enhancement. Okay, I thought that was a great answer. And then I continued and I said, but if you really needed something that our product doesn't do, that didn't make sense for our portfolio, we would allow you to pursue a customization. I also thought that was a great answer. No, it was absolutely the wrong answer according to their IT team. We were later told by our program sponsor, who again had begged us to change our product model, that IT said, we don't do that here. You're not allowed to modify a product to meet your needs. Now, this is a client that had like 50,000 employees. It was a $100,000 product sale. IT shut it down. No customization, no configuration allowed. That's crazy, right? The needs of the business don't change because IT disagrees with the philosophy. In fact, what happens when you do that when you're working with elephants is it looks a lot more like a rampage. You start getting majorly aberrant user behavior in your products. You start getting unreasonable change requests, unreasonable expectations. Whenever you have a client that is beginning to move out of alignment with the direction of your product, you have a problem. And as technologists, it's our responsibility to continue to fight to bring alignment back from, for our products to the market that we serve. When you look at clients, elephants particularly, I would argue this is true of the mid-market segment as well. There is an incredible diversity of users. There's an incredible diversity of organizations that we serve. It would be absolutely absurd to think that the same product is going to work in all countries around the world, in all languages, with all cultures, with all business needs, and all operational concerns. However, we again still, I think, as an industry, have a really, really bad habit of assuming that not only that it will, but that it should. This, I would argue, is where Zoho rocks. That's me, very excited. We came to Zoho over a year ago and we said, hey, we really want to do this. We want to consolidate on the platform. We want to make this work. But we have a herd of elephants that have really specific requirements. Can you help us? And without any hesitation, really whatsoever, Zoho said yes, absolutely. They were all in. And they were willing to modify the platform in specific ways to make it work for our portfolio. That is incredibly uncommon. We had approached 3 other large technology providers before we found Zoho, all of whom said, yeah, sure, for $1 million. Zoho said yes, with no price attached. We want your business. We want to make this work for this market segment. What can we do together? I have been in enterprise technology for 17 years, and I have never met a technology partner more committed to our mutual success. And that I will get on a stage 1,000 times and shout from the rooftops because it's so transformative. It's transformative to our business, it's transformative to their business, it's transformative to your business. That's the sort of partner that you have behind you. They did it for us, and it's changed the game. So, what does this have to do with trash cans? Well, I have long joked, very many years, that with the direction of VC capital and the entrepreneurial activity that we see in the market today, that it would just be a matter of time before we have trash cans that can reorder their liners. Kitchen trash can now be connected to the internet, and through the power of Amazon Dash technology, can reorder everything that you thought you... Meanwhile, in the enterprise, we have a really embarrassing, I think, lack to show for the last 10 years in terms of innovation. I appreciate that conversation isn't without some controversy. Certainly we have the cloud, we have microservices, we have security as a service. We have Zoho, but if you close your eyes and you throw a dart and you hit any business domain, I don't care, pick one, right? Contracts, procurement, fleet logistics, call center management, janitorial, whatever, you pick a domain, you will find it ripe with moribund competitors who are using end-of-life technology to service particularly the elephants. I get we get security questionnaires all the time. Screen out that make sure, ask the question that our technology is not still based on AS400. That happens every day. Why do they ask that question? Because there are people out there selling solutions that are based on AS400. That is real. That is occurring in the markets that we serve. So, I'm often asked why Briotix works, and this is the image of our login screen on Briotix Works, and we actually have a couple login screens, but one of the images, why Briotix Works has been so successful, why it has been rapidly assumed by the market. And I would tell you that there are three things, and all three of these are available to you today. So one is we started with a fresh user design that was really innovated on for the YouTube generation, right? Millennials expect design. We should all expect design, but millennials know enough to expect design from you if you're going to be selling enterprise technology. So we innovated on design. We brought industrial scale, thanks to Zoho. And then three, we spent quite a bit of energy and effort on developing a flexible, open architecture. And that has been key for our elephant clients. So what does that mean? Industrial grade, Zoho has got you covered, even if you have a herd of elephants. I mean, I hope you can appreciate for a minute what my life as a CTO is like when I decide I need to change something. I have to do security reviews with all of these organizations every single time I change something. And so that is a daunting proposition to bring the circus to town. And again, Zoho has got you covered. Design, we talked about this. I do want to say, if you today, and this is a strong statement, but I really do believe it. If you today are developing and selling technology, enterprise technology, and you are not working with a designer, you are really doing yourself a disservice. You are seriously diminishing your efficacy. It doesn't have to be expensive, okay? You have companies like 99 Designs where you can send them a screenshot of the page you're working on or the application, give them $500 and ask them to imagine what's possible. You can give them the specs, require that it's going to be in a linear fashion or something to that effect. But there are people out there who have a vision for what things can and should look like. And again, with just a little bit of money, you can significantly improve the look and feel and the user experience. And as technologists, that's often not something that we're great at, okay? And it's okay to say, hey, I'm very analytical. I don't see the, white softbox lighting here and everything that it's doing for your complexion. But your software needs a softbox, okay? $500, $2,000. It doesn't have to be a lot of money, but you can really enhance the experience for your users. So I want to talk about flexible architecture. This actually, I would argue, has been the most difficult thing. So finding Zoho was the easy part. Keeping our SHIT together as developers is sometimes a little bit more challenging, right, in terms of the architecture. So one of the things that we committed to from the outset was having a unified data model. So that means before we began, and then subsequently when we needed to make changes, that we really had to sit down and think critically about what we were doing and what we wanted to become. And then even if we've made some mistakes, we had to live with those mistakes in subsequent iterations, or make sure that our new work was backwards compatible. All 8 of our products, which now have been segmented and modified in a variety of other ways, interoperability. And that's critical. So we have, what has been our goal is that you could take any one of our forms, any one of our pages, any one of our modules, any one of our subcomponents, and you could drop it into any one of our applications. And we have achieved that in terms of our architecture, and it means that we're able to do things like get a new call from a huge client with 100,000 users and deploy a system for them within like 10 days that totally meets their needs. Why? Because I already have all of the pieces that I just need to put together into a functional application. Next, on-off compatibility. This is an extension of the interoperability. The reality is that no matter how hard you work on an application, at some point a client is going to say, your baby is ugly. They're not going to like it. It's not personal, okay? Their business just doesn't have the needs for that. So what are you going to do when they tell you to turn it off? The thing needs to still keep working, right? So one of the requirements that we put into place for all of our architecture is what happens when it turns off. There has to be an A/B test. There has to be a plan for what happens when that component needs to be taken offline. And by going to market, having, again, all of our products connecting, all of the forms being interoperable against any of the products that we've built, and coding them so that they could all turn it on and off, that has given us an infinite number of choices, which, again, is the sort of thing that I need when I'm scaling to millions of users. This is actually a picture of one of our Briotix Works applications. Say it with a picture. So this is actually a series of icons and workflow. And I don't need to tell you to click that. Why? Because you're just going to go click it. Use the human behavior for your needs. And it doesn't matter what they click on, it's going to get them to the right place. Similarly, this is a report. It's actually not a report. We coded the HTML page. But this is in lieu of a report, right? You don't need to tell somebody that you're recommending them a keyboard. Show them that you've recommended them a keyboard. And then when they click on it, it takes them to order the keyboard because the image itself has a URL destination that's integrated. Then dummy tests. This is actually super easy. Find somebody who hasn't been exposed to your product and see if they can figure it out. And if they can't, go back and fix what they couldn't figure out and do it again and again and again until it works. So those are some of our basic principles. And my advice to you is embrace diversity in enterprise. I would say that the elephants want more tomato sauce and fewer smart trash cans. So we're here to stay, we're here to win it, and we're here to help. And we thank you for your time.